Okay, I would like to tell you about our very first experience of satellite tagging of a bowhead whale in the Охотsk Sea. Actually, it is the first experience all over the world, not only in the Охотsk Sea, because we were using a motorized paraglider. You can see it in the picture, this orange sail. This was in the Wrangell Cove, where we know there are so many whales. We have listened to so many reports. And why there? Because there are many animals and because they are very close to the coastal line. Of course, such tagging should be done somewhere close to the shore, and there should be people on a boat in case something goes wrong. Well, you see lots of pictures. Okay, you can see this cove. Even if you don't fly above it, you can imagine that it's not the safest ground for this. And of course, the conditions for taking off, they are really bad. There's no way that two people can be on one paraglider. So first we were thinking about it. Then one of these researchers can operate and adjust this paraglider, and the other can deal with the tagging. But it is impossible to have two people, and this takeoff, okay, it is done perpendicular to the shoreline, and so all these natural conditions, they prevent from a nice weather and nice takeoff. The wind is also very strong. So you see this cove. Okay, it's not quite clear how the wind can change. Okay, in 5 minutes it can be a totally different wind. And when you are flying above the water, there are so many little bays. These are areas of turbulence, which is also quite dangerous. So that is why we had to spend a lot of time training for this, and we chose some conditions. We chose the day which we thought was quite optimal for tagging. As for the whales, of course, when you are flying quite close to the water, they notice us. But we also realized that when it is a sunny weather and the animals see the shade of this paraglide in the water, this is quite frightening for them. And they reacted to this. So then we decided at what altitude we had to fly and how we could approach a specific animal. And we had lots of training. Okay, so we had a boat, and the paraglide, and Sasha, our pilot. Okay, he was training. Okay, and there was like one floating mat on the water. We used it for this training, and he was trying to hit it. And Sasha was the only pilot. So he was the only person on this paraglider, so he had only one hand to do it. So he had to control this sail and use the other one to hit and use this tag. And the device we used, it's called arts. We used it for fastening so that he could use his right hand, because of course it is necessary to aim. Okay, so at the bottom, you see this drawing, and you see we attached it with scotch. and we fixed it on his leg. Okay, so the distance was not very long. So, and it is possible to aim with this arts gear, but it was a good idea that we fixed it on the leg of this pilot. Well, of course, we took everything into consideration. There are lots of lessons learned. They were going to improve it in the future. Okay, so we used this satellite tag. And you see at the bottom on the left, there's this tube and a tag. Okay, it is like a rocket, actually. Yeah, it flies out of this tube. Yeah, and this tag stays in the animal. And we were waiting for a satellite to be nearby and right above us. And we managed to fix it, the tag on the 11th of September. It was not possible to identify whether it was a female or a male. And this tag worked for 45 days. So, and I believe, of course, it is better to tag animals closer to the end of the season, but at least we have this information for 45 days. Actually, they were quite useless because this whale moved to a close-by bay, and then it spent all the time there. So, and it stayed close to another tourist camp. Maybe this picture is not very good, but these are like glamping tents, and they are close to the sea, and okay, it's a very interesting place. And there are people all the time there. They move from one place to another. Okay, and there are motorboats all the time. So this is something to be taken into account. Then in the middle picture, you can see this red frame at the bottom. So if you check this place on the maps, yeah, you can see it there, but actually the camp is closer to the north. Right, some conclusions were taken after this very first experiment. We believe it can be used, but some improvements are needed. So this control system should be modified. Okay, radio connection with the team. Okay, we need more video cameras. Then this arts gear should be improved as well. And some micro changes. Okay, it is how this tag is attached to the tube. And without this team, nothing would be possible. I would like to thank Patrick Dijkstra. Actually, he gave us, it was a gift from him, he gave us these tags. And then Sasha and Elena, and also people at the bottom, these were from a tourist company. Thank you very much. I would like to thank everyone. Questions. If we have time for questions, I can take them. Thank you very much, Olga. Yeah, actually, we have a couple of minutes for questions, if there are any. Yes, there's a question from Roman Klepevsky. Thank you very much, Olga. Why didn't you use a boat for tagging? Well, we didn't use a boat for tagging because we need a high platform. You know, we have to approach these whales very closely to 1 meter, or we need a high platform because this tag should be somewhere on top of the animal, okay, on top of the skin. So that's why it is more effective from either a platform or a paraglider. And for a whale also, more like whale friendly. Yeah, so I believe from a small dingy, it is impossible. You cannot use a big, boat, high boat for this. Yeah, so because there are so many animals, there are from 20 to 50 animals, trying to catch them, yeah, or having a race with them. No, it is not reasonable. Okay, there's one hand raised, Stanislav Belyakov. Olga, thank you very much for this interesting report. I have a question. What about the future of this? Taking into account that you need all this training, okay, and this is quite dangerous. So what about the future? What is the potential of this satellite tagging for bowhead whales? Thank you, Stanislav Yegorovich. In our particular case, yes, it is very promising because we do have now this pilot. Okay, he is a world record bearing pilot, and we cannot say that this can be used widely in other areas of the world. So this is okay for animals if they're very close to the shoreline. And we need most experienced pilots. These should be, real athletes, very experienced, and they should be, the best. As for some other areas, I would like to say what I mentioned in the beginning. Okay, we wanted originally to use 2 people. Then there can be 1 pilot and then 1 researcher who can be dealing with this tagging. So if it is possible, and in other areas it might be possible, then there's potential.